as your course and year level?
I am Isnang Hamida and I am 18 years old, currently taking BS Ed major in science here in Western Mindanao State University. I graduated senior high school in Baliwasan Senior High School, and I also take my elementary and junior high right here in Western Mindanao State University. And the thing that I love to do is I love doing arts. I love um, interacting with friends in social media, especially sharing with them about beauty pageants, Miss Universe, and random, very personal
Mm.
stuff. But those are the things that I am purely interested. That's all. Thank you.
Yes. So thank you so much, Isnang. So today we will be talking about something related to like communicating in the classroom. So for my first question, can you share a classroom experience like from before up until now where you feel nervous in speaking that influence your ability to communicate using the English language?
Well, at that time, I remember in my years back in senior high school years, those were after pandemic, and especially the fact that I have a lot of problems with my mind, and it may not be connected to academic, but something that made me less confident about speaking is that there has always been barriers, or uh, my academic weren't good enough to an extent that it whenever I speak something, I lose my confidence to an extent that wait lang, nawala ako sa words ko. Uh,
Okay lang. Take your time.
um, it's it's when I try to remember those days, they were somehow embarrassing because to be able to speak is something fundamental as a senior high school, because those are the 21st century skills that a learner should have. And because of the impact of pandemic, my communication skills were shut down. So yun, thank you so much.
So thank you so much for sharing that experience. So like remembering those times, what do you think are the factors that make speaking, especially right now in the classroom, feel challenging for you?
Maybe it's because of the expectations of people around me, that because at that time I always have I always been the leader of groups, see, so their expectation to me to do well is there. So those factors of having that leadership, those or a factor or a responsibility, those are the factor that pressures me to excel or expel beyond what is in what is beyond borders.
So thank you for that. So you've mentioned earlier about the main factor for you, which made it hard or made speaking challenging in the classroom, is the expectations, or like yes, the expectations of others from you. So thinking about this, like how has feeling nervous about communicating affected the way you interacted with your classmates and teachers?
Although there has been development, but uh, you those factors, despite the development has been no, there has been development. Those factors has always been present. Kahit masasabi na nating we are already on this level, uh, we tend to correct certain things, especially when speaking English. Dapat you have this type of parang grammars, and nahihirapan ako mag-express because uh, I there I mean, expectedly there are always some lackings, pero
Yes.
uh, yun lang ata. No,
Okay
no.
lang. So, sige lang. That's okay.
Sige.
So, yeah, thank you so much for that. And now, since you've mentioned about this, like expectations, di ba, like mainly is like it is because of expectations. Did you like have any strategies rather that you've tried to feel more comfortable when you communicate in the classroom?
There is this one effective thing that I did. So whenever I actually go towards YouTube, I would love to hear like motivational speakers, whether it is based on religion or whether it is based on any genre. And those the way they speak gives a lot of information on how a person should confidently speak, especially TEDx speaker or um, scholars from across global. Whenever they speak, whenever they share their insights, they you don't even know that by watching them how they speak, you're already improving your skills. And I believe that watching different speakers in YouTube or in any social media will largely impact the way you speak.
So thank you so much. That is like a unique strategy, and at the same time that's very nice that it is effective on your side. So by using these strategies and other things that you've done before, based from your experiences, like looking back to your senior high years and right now that you are in college, did you like see any improvements in yourself, especially when speaking or communicating with others?
That is true because whenever or like uh I was there were situations where they were asking me to define certain terms, and I was able to define it based on the knowledge that I have. And it's not just how I define the knowledge, it's also about how I convey with the usage of words to define those terms. And maybe kapag like questions, especially when you ask someone based on like first days in our first year, we were asked to define or explain in your own insights what is the vision of Western Mindanao State University all about. Now, the vision of Western Mindanao State University has its own deep words na mahirap somehow. You need to have your own deep vocabulary to understand the vision and mission. Vision by 2040 WIMSO. So you need to understand what is the goal of WIMSO behind that. So you need to yun lang. Oh my god, that was I think at that time I was able to explain the concept of vision of 2000 vision of WIMSO in front of Mom Gail. And I think because of that, I was able to do well in my speaking. They were clapping, oh, that's great. So, yun lang po.
That was very nice, and like I'm glad that you did well on that part. And now we're down to our like second to the last question. So, reflecting on your experiences in classroom communication, what important insights can you share with other secondary pre-service teachers just like yourself?
Secondary. Uh, my advice for them is, especially in speaking, considering the fact that we are teachers and we need to use our articulation. The best way there is to have first your confidence in learning, and then confidence in developing those skills, because I believe that in the end of the day, everyone will be able to parang develop kasi it's a basic fundamental skills that is required. I mean, if you cannot, let's just say, if you cannot speak, then parang there's no point of entering college of teacher education if you can't even share your own knowledge on what's best or on what's parang. So my advice for them is to develop their confidence first, and ano, uh, they should be proud that being a teacher is a model. So being a model is a responsibility that you need to share your abilities with others, and especially to your pupils or your learners.
So thank you so much, Isnang. And before we end this interview, like, do you want to share any other advices aside from what you've said earlier, or do you want to clarify something about the things that you've mentioned about this?
To clarify, I think wala na. Kasi wala.
Okay, so once again, thank you so much for your
Thank
answer,
you.
Isnang. And these answers were really comprehensive, and I really learned a lot from you.
Oh,
And
thank you.
I really appreciated your responses, and it can really help me in understanding my study further. So once again, thank you so much for your time and effort, Isnang.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
ulit. Thank you po.